my thoughts. I shut it down wherever power is stored. Being real is in the past, watching cowards get on. It ain't kill me, so it's making me stronger. And these bite-sized rappers now sensing my heart.
What the hell is going on, people? This is Periodik, and you see the title of the video. We are jumping back into global Dragonball Z Dokkan Battle in order to do one thing and one thing only. Rate the global LRs. Yes, indeed. We are back at it again. This is going to be for the month of May. Right in time with the latest LR that dropped, obviously LR UI Goku. I've broken this down into a bunch of tiers, and we're going to explain how this works so people do not get mad in the comments, because, man, nothing like making a tier list to have people catch feelings. It's absolutely insane. So, disclosure number one, this is my opinion. It's not right or wrong, but it is based off of, how many years now? 4 years of playing this game, because I started right after the first year anniversary. So about 4 years of playing this game with, I mean, a ton of LRs, you know. You guys know. If you go into my 2020 box showcase, you know the work I put into it, you know, beat pretty much everything this game has to offer, SBR, all that stuff. So for the most part, I know what I'm talking about, right? Disclosure number two, this is global. This is only for the global version of the game. It is not for Japan. So if you ask me, why is Rose Goku Black not on this list? If you ask me why LR Tech Vegito or LR Strength Gogeta are on this list, then go down here, JP only. There they are. They are only on the JP version. That is Tech Vegito, Strength Gogeta, Physical Krillin, AGL Babidi and Dabura, AGL Vegeta Nappa, Intelligence Rose, Strength EZA Goku Black, and then the Physical Broly and Gang. So they are all on Japan only. They will not be ranked today. Also free to plays, and goodness gracious, are there a lot of free to plays. That's actually insane in my opinion. How many free to plays we have in this game? Like, I'm actually surprised by it. But regardless, let's start off, and we always start off at the bottom. And the way that I rate it is overall effectiveness. How well has the unit aged? Can you run them on multiple teams and they be effective? And essentially, are they optimal to run? And even if they're not optimal, how many spots are they away from being optimal? So I'm going to put the unit on the ranking, and then we'll take a look at them on the Dokkan Battle wiki. If you guys don't know, DBZ-dokkanbattle.fandom.com. Fantastic website. Make sure you have it bookmarked. Also, the tiers themselves. We're going with the Psyche Demon tier, which is the little demon that gets absorbed, that gets turned into Janemba, really. But before that, he's pretty insignificant. He causes the events of the Janemba movie. So he is all the way at the bottom. Next is the Home for Infinite Loser Demon tier. Now, if you're a American, or if you're an English version watcher, if you were a dub watcher, like I was when I originally watched Dragon Ball, and then I moved on to the Spanish version and then eventually the Japanese version, then you'll know that there was no hell in that version. It was HFIL. It was Home for Infinite Losers. And man, I love that. It's so stupid. It's great though. So that's the second to bottom tier. Next up is King Yama tier. You guys already know that. He's pretty much the gatekeeper. Next up is King Kai tier. So now we're getting, you know, starting to get useful, starting to get a little bit strong, right? Next up is Supreme Kai tier. Okay, now we're looking good, right? After that, God of Destruction tier. Yes, indeed. Next up, Guide Angel tier, which is, you know, Vados and Whis and things of that nature. Grand Priest tier, second to the top. And then last but not least, Zeno tier. Zeno-sama tier. So very, very good. Okay, this is all switched up, by the way. I think there's a lot the same, a lot different. Some of these picks may surprise you, but screw it. Let's jump into it right now. At the very bottom, for the first time ever, LR Goten and Trunks. LR Goten and Trunks, I've tried to use more recently, and they're the only, I believe, I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong on this, they're the only LR on this list that have a chance to give themselves less attack. And what does that mean? Okay, so they are a Super AGL, key plus 4, HP attack and defense 100%. Nice, key plus 4. Extreme, 2 key, 70% HP attack and defense 70%. By the way, I love that kid right there, Miguel, St. Jude patient. So great with the bow tie and the glasses. It's awesome. Anyway, 12 key, 18 key super attacks. We're going to get to that last. They give themselves 3 to 9 key randomly. So it could be 3, it could be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They give themselves 120% attack only when super attacking, no defense whatsoever. Kind of sucks. But if they're doing 12 key super attack, then it's a 50% chance to get 2 different types of super attacks. They're either going to get Fat Gotenks, which lowers their own attack, and that is by 30%, and they'll cause colossal damage. Or they'll get Skinny Gotenks, which lowers their own attack and defense, which is again 30% for both, and causes colossal damage to enemy, right? If they're doing an 18 key, then they have a 70% chance for Super Saiyan 1 Gotenks, 30% chance for Super Saiyan 3. If it's Super Saiyan 1, they're going to cause Mega Colossal damage, and they're going to raise their defense by 30% for 1 turn. Not bad. If it's Super Saiyan 3, they're going to do Mega Colossal damage and greatly raise their attack and defense for 1 turn, which I believe is 50%. Yeah, 50%. So you need to get this kid 18 key. And to be quite honest, I don't know if it actually shows the... No. The times that you get 6 to 9 key, for me at least, usually is lower chance than 3 to 5. Like, I usually get 3 to 5 key. And sometimes it's difficult to get the 18 key. Sometimes it is. Like, let's just say if you get the 3 key, right? And you get... and you're getting 6 from the leader skill, so you're at 9 key. Okay, so you need another 9. If we take a look at his links, Shattering the Limit, Shocking Speed, that's pretty good. 2 key links right there. That's 4. So now we're at what? 13. And so at that point, we would need 5 orbs to be able to get his super attack off. Though not a lot of people share Shattering the Limit and Shocking Speed, to be quite honest. So sometimes you're just going to get one or the other. And it kind of makes it a little difficult to get that 18 key super attack. It is super nice when he's able to get the 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. But it doesn't happen all the time. And the fact that if you don't get that 18 key super attack, you are garbage. Yeah. That is why Goten and Trunks, you are at the bottom, my boy. Next on up. By the way, he's by himself at the bottom. Next one up. Strength Broly. We're throwing Strength Broly up for the first time, I believe, on my tier list. He's not at the bottom. And I've talked about him before, but we'll talk a little bit more about him now, because I think all the points still stand. On why I think he's still good and why I think he's still bad. So I'll explain what that means. He's a strength, all types, super and extreme. 3 key, 90% HP attack and defense, which is very nice for Battlefield if you're left with just a mishmash of characters, aka Ultimate Clash. His 12 key does colossal damage to all enemies. His 18 key causes mega colossal damage to enemy. And his passive skill is when he does a super attack, he gives himself 80,000 attack, but he also gives himself minus 20,000 defense. And then he's going to launch an additional super attack, which will be that attack all, right? It's that 12 key super attack. So why is this good and why is this bad? Number one, he gives himself that negative 20,000 defense. That's the bad part. So it doesn't mean as much nowadays, because what ends up happening is... let's just say he's at, all right, so he's got 13,000 defense, completely rainbowed out, right? And if you are running under a double, let's just say he's at 150% leader skill, let's just say he's at that or whatever. He'll probably be like, what, getting close to 100,000, probably a little less, right? 50,000 defense. So let's just say he's at 50,000 defense, right? He does his super attack. He's going to minus 20,000. He'll be at 30,000 at that point. as leader skills get bigger and bigger and bigger, 170, 200, 210, 220, that 20,000 will mean less and less, because let's just say if you have that double leader skill, he's at 50,000 defense, right? And let's just say there is a support unit on board that's giving him 50% defense. Let's just go crazy, say 50% defense. He's going to gain another 25. He'll be at 75. That negative 20,000 is just going to bring him down to 50. Now let's just say with the new leader skills and the supports and all that stuff, he's over 100,000 defense. That negative 20,000 will bring him down to 80,000. So that's essentially how that works, right? Because it's a flat 20,000. It's not percentage based. So the higher that leader skills and passive support skills get, the less that negative 20,000 is going to mean. That's the good thing. The bad thing is that it works the same way for his attack. Attack is set to 80,000. So that means that his base attack is always going to only go up by 80,000. And eventually that's not going to mean a whole lot, right? So eventually you'll want your attack to go up by 500,000, by 1 million, by 2 million. And Broly will be sadly left behind sooner than a lot of the other units that are using percentage based. Right now, he's kind of in a good spot. He's in an okay spot. Hence why he's still the #1 king for the World Tournament. But if you're serious about clearing content, having him on your team is a liability, unless if you are super defensive oriented with a bunch of units that are buffing his defense and making up for it. So that is why he is on the King tier. I'm sorry, the HFIL tier. Get my own tiers messed up. So next, who am I also going to put on that tier? #1, this is going to be a theme, guys. This tier is going to be a theme. The HFIL team. And I know some people are going to be upset that I put Gohan this low. And I actually, in the past, have put Gohan higher, to be quite honest. I've put Gohan quite a bit higher. And I think it's about time that we stop just only paying attention to his damage, because that's all this guy does, right? Intelligence, key +3, HP attack and defense 90%, causes mega colossal damage, 12 key, mega colossal damage, and greatly raises attack for 1 turn. That's a 50% increase, which is insane, right? So if he gets his 18 key, that's absolutely ridiculous damage. Even if he gets his 12 key, it's still mega colossal. That's fantastic, right? 18% attack for every key sphere obtained, an extra key whenever key is raised with key spheres. So meaning a strength orb, intelligence orb, or I'm sorry, a strength orb, a physical orb, any kind of orb is going to give him 2 key. And then intelligence orbs are going to give him 3. So he's going to get so much key no matter what he grabs. So this dude hits like a truck. Unfortunately, as you saw there, no defense, no defense, no defense. And look at his defense down here, 13,000. Not particularly great. Not particularly great. His attack sure is 21,975. That's insane. But this dude's on 1 million categories. But like I said before, the fact that he has no defense what to speak of, if he gets hit, then you're dead. If he gets hit, you're dead. It's over. Like there's no chance. So as good as he is offensively, that's a massive liability, and he's also going to be left in the dust fairly soon. Moving right along, again, we're going to continue with that theme of if you get hit, you are dead. So we're going to the Vegeta now. Vegeta is another case of a character who can hit very, very hard. And this is Majin Vegeta in this particular point. Hits very, very hard. AGL, key 3, HP attack and defense 90%. He's very unique because his 12 key super attack is the Mega Colossal and his 18 key is the Colossal. So very strange, right? But the Mega Colossal actually has a 10% chance to stun. I believe it's 10%, 20% chance. I apologize. 20% chance to stun. And both of them have a 20% chance to stun. Now, his passive skill, again, we're following a theme. Attack, 150% when performing a super attack. That's it. No defense. He gets slapped up. The boy's dead. He does have better defense than the Broly and the Gohan. He's at 15,000. which is pretty good, 15,163. That's not bad at the Rainbow Star level. If you just have him 55%, he's at 11,000. But yeah, this dude, again, just kind of, you know, that HFIL tier just has all of the same traits. A lot of offense, not much defense. And then to continue with that is this LR Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Again, a lot of offense, and in order to be defensive, you have to sacrifice your offense. And I'm not a fan of characters that make you do that. I'm really not, because there are some. So in case you guys don't know, this dude is a super tech, key plus 4, 100% HP attack and defense, and a extreme tech 2 key, 70% HP attack and defense. His 12 key super attack has a 20% chance to stun. 20% chance to stun. Colossal damage. His 18 key mega colossal damage greatly lowers defense. His passive 120% defense at the start of turn. But you're like, wait, periodic. I thought you just said that he sucks defensively. Well, yeah, he does. Because check this out. Attack 180% and defense minus 70% when performing an ultra super attack. So let that process for a second. He gives himself 0 attack bonus if he's doing 12 key super attacks or if he's just doing a normal attack. He's going to have 120,000 defense, which is good. It's very good. That'll put his defense like around 70, 80,000, depending on the team. Might be more. But when you give him a super attack, it's minus 70%. And keep in mind, it's not just, oh, we're going to take 50 off of 120. No, that's not how it works. It is right here. It's 30% of his total defense is what's left, because the second part of his passive skill is calculated separately. So, I mean, that's just like 13,900 is an okay, you know, defensive mark there, but he just puts himself at a disadvantage. Let's just put it like that. And this would have been dope. I would have loved this actually if it lowered attack, or if this lowered attack. Take out the stun and put in the lower attack. That would have been great, because that 30% would have been passable at least. But if you want to do a lot of damage, you have to sacrifice your defense. I don't like that trade-off. And he's still a great unit. He still hits very hard, and I do have to make that point. All of these units are still good. You know, they're still going to put you through a ton of content. And they still can put out the numbers. But once you start getting to the high tier, Legendary Goku, Super Battle Road, Infinite Dragon Ball History, they become liabilities, right? For certain events. Okay, so we're done with that tier. We're moving on to the King Yama tier. So first unit for the King Yama tier, we are actually going to move this physical Cell. So Cell is a unit that I used to not like in the past, but he kind of grew on me. For sure, he grew on me because I'm surprised at how well he does in certain events, Super Battle Road particularly, right? So extreme physical, key 4, HP attack and defense 100%, normal or super physical, key 2, HP attack and defense 70%. Colossal damage to all enemies, gets back 10% health. That's pretty good. 18 key, stacks attack, or raises attack by 30% for 1 turn. Mega colossal damage to enemy, so that's pretty good as well. Passive, attack and defense 90% at the start of turn, plus an additional 1 key and 10% attack per existing enemy. So if you're going into SBR, you're going to face, 3 to 5 enemies. So he's going to have a decent amount of attack, and he's going to be able to do quite a bit of damage. His defense is okay, 13,300, and he gives himself that 90% defensive boost, which is good. And I just like any unit that heals. I like any unit that heals, to be quite honest. So I'm a fan of this Cell. He's grown on me. I used to not like him at all, but yeah, he's performed well enough, I should say. Like, he's not top tier, but he's performed well enough. And he's got okay links, right? Like, okay Cell links. Let me put it like that. Okay for Cell, right? So let's keep moving. Again, we're going to look at certain units that have kind of survived the test of time. And one of them is this LR Physical Trunks. LR Physical Trunks is a unit that I did not have much faith in the past because what did he do? He did not give himself defense, except for his super attack, right? So no defense in the passive, 120% attack, 50% chance to crit, pretty good offensively. His super attack raised defense by 30% for 3 turns. His Mega Colossal enemy raises defense by 30% for 3 turns. So back in the day, defense was not that big of a deal. Enemies that you fought did not hit particularly hard. And so that was kind of seen as a bad super attack. It was like, ugh, raises defense by 30%. Ugh, what, for 3 turns? That's what is it? Why did they do that, right? Now we see it as like, oh, that's fantastic. And if you put a bunch of additional into this dude and he's able to super attack multiple times, he's stacking that defense and he can actually take a ton of hits. So theoretically, you can bring him into stacking events, or even, after 1 or 2 turns, he's able to stack his defense pretty well, right? So this Trunks has gotten better with age, and there's also been better units that link up with him. I'd say nowadays he's got a ton of units that he can share. The Shocking Speeds, the Prepare for Battles, the Shattering Limit, Cold Judgment giving him another 20% defense. So he's gotten much, much better with age, in my opinion. He's on a ton of different categories. I just like this unit, right? But again, he's not top tier, so we got to put him down in the King Yema tier. Who's also on the King Yema tier? A unit that is a bit too specific for my liking, and that is the Trunks of Mine. I know some people definitely like this card, and I think they're pretty good too, right? But they have too much limitations, in my opinion. And there's going to be some other characters that you may point to and be like, hey, but they have limitations and blah, blah, blah. But to me, this wouldn't be your first choice in the teams that they require you to be in. Anyway, let me explain. Time Travelers, key +4, HP attack and defense, 130%, right? Super Strength, key 4, HP attack and defense, 100%. 12 key, colossal damage, medium chance of stunning the enemy. It's not bad. Medium chance, what is that, 30%? Okay, pretty good. 18 key, mega colossal damage, 50% chance of stunning the enemy. All right, I like that. That's very, very good. Passive skill, attack 70%. So that's the passive skill. Second part of the passive skill, attack and defense up 10%, up to 70% per time traveler category ally on the team. So, all right. That means that you can get up to 140% attack and defense. Key +6 and 50% chance of evading enemy's attack when there is a Future Saga category enemy. So we'll take a look at the Future Saga categories in a second. But I don't like that you only gain attack if you're not putting this dude on a Time Traveler's team. Because theoretically, you could throw him on Join Forces and not have any Time Travelers on that team. You can finagle him on a Revenge team and not have that many Time Travelers, right? Same thing with Future, though I would say Future Saga and Time Travelers really, really mix well. But there's 2 categories that he has that you really don't need to put a lot of Time Travelers on it. And so let's take a look at the Future Saga and take a look at what enemies he could be facing, right? So we're going to be looking at the Rose Gokus. We're going to be looking at, obviously, the Teen Future Trunks, the Future Gohans, the Goku Black and Zamasus, the Blue Vegetos. And then that's about it, right? We have some Super Saiyan Blue Gokus. We have some Super Saiyan Blue Vegetas. We got some Mais, and that's really it, right? There's not a ton of bosses that you're going to be facing. It's not like Pure Saiyans or Hybrid Saiyans or things like that, right? Or even like Wicked Bloodline, where you have Cells and Freezes Coolers and Freezes and things like that. It's just kind of like Future Trunks, and this is specific. That's why I say Future Trunks, right? Future Trunks, Future Gohan, most Goku Blacks. I think actually all Goku Blacks, most Zamasus. All Zamasus, and 1 or 2 Super Saiyan Blue Gokus. I think actually only 1 Super Saiyan Blue Goku, and 2 Super Saiyan Blue Vegetas. So somewhat limited. And that's why I kind of have to reel him back just a little bit. Just a little bit. We got to reel him back. Okay, so who is the last person on this King Yema tier? It is none other than the Doc Daddy himself, LR Bardock. I am a big fan of Bardock, but I can't gas him too much. I will not gas him too much. LR Bardock, super physical, key +4, HP attack and defense 100%. Extreme, key +2, HP attack and defense 70%. 12 key, greatly raises attack for 1 turn. That's a 50% increase. Colossal damage. 18 key, mega colossal damage, and seals super attack. Why didn't they just leave the raising of attack? It's kind of weird. Passive skill, attack and defense 70%, plus an additional 30 when he's doing an ultra super attack. He gives himself 4 key when he's facing only 1 enemy. He gives himself 60% defense when he's facing 2 or more enemies. The attack is actually calculated separately. It gives him a total boost of 121% attack when he's doing a super attack. That's very, very good. Yeah, what can you say about this dude? He's solid on Pure Saiyans. He's solid on Goku's family. He's solid on Team Bardock. He's solid on Low Class Warrior. Even though I do not think Low Class Warrior is a particularly good team. Obviously, Team Bardock, you know, it's a free-to-play team for the most part. So that's also not necessarily the top of the top. But he does everything pretty good. And that's why he is on the King Yama tier, because he does everything pretty good. He doesn't do everything phenomenally. And so we got to put him in with some of those other guys. He's kind of like one of those jack of all trades, great all-around character. All right, let's move on up. And this is where it's going to start getting dicey, guys. This is where it's going to start getting real dicey, where people might start getting somewhat upset. King Kai tier. Ironically, it's going to be a God of Destruction. Beerus is on the King Kai tier. Beerus is moving on up on these tiers. So Beerus does a ton of damage, right? Beerus does a ton of damage. Beerus and Whis, I should clarify. Super strength, 4 key, HP attack and defense 100%. Extreme key, extreme strength, 2 key, HP attack and defense 70%. 12 key causes colossal damage, recovers 7%. I like that. 18 key, mega colossal damage, recovers 12%. I like that. Passive, 80% attack. Okay. After he gets hit, an additional attack and defense 60% for 5 turns. Again, additional attack and defense boosted is calculated separately for a total boost of 188% attack and 60% defense. I would probably have put him higher if that defensive boost was higher, or if he had a way to make that defense boost better. But for whatever reason with Beerus, they just like doing that, where they like for him to get hit and then show off that he's insanely powerful, but not give him a ton of defense, which is like, this guy's a defensive wall. Why are you guys not giving him defensive stats? It's very strange. But regardless, his links are okay. Godly Power is pretty good. Prodigies, yeah. Innocence, Connoisseur, hell no. Shocking Speed, good. Fierce Battle, yeah. Legendary Power. That Connoisseur is just like, what are you doing there? And then Innocence is just kind of strange, right? Because it's really just like, what, kid units and, yeah, B-Pan, Hercule. Like, what are these characters? Why is he sharing link? What is this? It's so weird. Are you going to put Ribrian next to him? Like, no, we ain't doing that. So this dude hits insanely hard, but he could get hit very hard the first time he gets touched. And even then, the 60% defensive boost, not insane. Now, keep in mind, he does have a pretty darn high defense, 15,850. I'm a big fan of that, but he's kind of, I would say he's more than a one-trick pony because he does have passable defense. But yeah, there's Beerus in the King Kai tier. Who's joining him in the King Kai tier? None other than my man Bojack. Man, people sleep on Bojack. I can't believe that people still sleeping on the man Bojack. Bojack is a beast. And the thing that holds him back is his links, right? Because if not, then attack and defense 80%. If you have 100% HP, you're getting an additional 70% attack boost. And here's the formula. At 60%, his attack is going to be 42% because he's going to lose attack as he loses HP. So that's what that means. The more HP remaining, the greater the attack boost. So he starts off at 100 and it slowly, or I'm sorry, he starts off at 70 and it slowly goes down. His defense works the other way around. He's going to gain an additional defense boost up to 70% the less HP he has remaining. So again, the formula down here. For example, 60% HP, his defense will be at an additional 28% on top of his 80%. So he's going to start getting more and more defensively inclined as he gets less and less health. That's amazing, right? Extreme Intelligence, 4 key, HP attack and defense, 100%. Super Intelligence, 2 key, HP attack and defense, 70%. His links, though, listen, Shatter the Limit's great. Legendary Power, Revival, Thirst for Conquest, Big Bad Bosses. I love it. I love it. I love it. The problem is Galactic Warriors, which is a 20% attack increase, but look who has it. Like, okay, get out of my face. And then the Hera Clan, which is 2 key. Look who has it. All right, get out of my face. What are we doing here with this guy? But damn, that art is clean, though. There is the Bojack Boy. The Bojack Bro. Who is next on the list? Full Power Frieza. I know some of you might get mad about that. Some of you guys might actually get upset that I'm putting Full Power. I believe I'm actually lowering Full Power Frieza. I think I had him higher tier last time. But he's a full power category. Key plus 4, HP attack and defense 130%. Extreme strength, key 4, HP attack and defense 100%. His 12 key, Mega Colossal Damage, loses 8% HP. His 18 key greatly raises attack 50%, and causes Mega Colossal Damage to an enemy. His passive skill, so long, right? But essentially it's this. He gives himself 2 key and attack and defense 80%. And then as he starts losing HP, he's going to give himself more key and more attack. So eventually you'll get a ton of attack and a lot of key when you're below 30% HP. I don't know if they have a graph. No, they don't. Oh, here it is. Yeah, maximum boost possible when you're 30% HP or below is 9 key, attack 150%, and defense 80%. Like, listen, he's good. He's good enough. He's good enough even when you're above 70%, 80%, 90%. He just gets insane when you drop below 50%. The problem is, on most difficult events, you don't want to drop below 50%. If you drop below 50%, you're going to want to immediately heal. And that essentially negates his passive. And that's why I put him on the tier that I put him. Let's add another one on here. A fan favorite. GT Trio. GT Trio going into the King Kai tier. Why am I throwing GT Trio into the King Kai tier? I think actually the GT Trio has most likely the most room to grow out of all the ones on the King Kai tier. I think that's what I have a feeling that they will, they'll find a higher tier later on, and this is the reason. Dragon Ball Seekers, 4 key, HP attack and defense 170%. That's huge. Super Intelligence, 4 key, HP attack and defense 100%. 12 key, causes colossal damage, raises defense by 33% for 1 turn. 18 key, Mega Colossal Damage, raises defense by 33% for 3 turns. Passive skill, attack and defense 77% when they're doing a super attack, plus an additional 77% if it's an ultra super attack. They're giving themselves 1 key for every Dragon Ball Seekers category ally on the team. I think with the introduction of more Dragon Ball Seeker characters, then this card is going to be insane, especially with great support units for Dragon Ball Seekers and things of that nature. Right now, there is not a ton, and strangely, they don't include units that should be considered Dragon Ball Seekers. I mean, that's really it, right? So these are the TURs right here. And it's like, okay, let's not even look at the LRs right now. But out of these TURs, who would you put on your team? Like, Kid Goku, okay, that's a given. Yeah. And then out of these guys, like, okay, I mean, that Frieza's good, but he won't link with anybody. And then if we look at the LRs, okay, that GT Trio 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's not bad, but like their defense isn't going to be that great, particularly Pan and Goku and Arale. They're just going to get absolutely thrashed, right? Are you going to put these? I mean, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 free to play, 6, 7, 8, 9 free to play. So, yeah, we need more Dragon Ball Seeker characters. And the links are what little interesting, right? Prepare for battle, good. Shadow on the limit, I like that. Legendary power, good. Saiyan warrior race, man, I don't like this link anymore. Only 700 attack, no, don't like it. Saiyan lineage, not a fan. 1 key, not that great. Rival duo, okay. Attack 10%, attack enemies defense minus 15%. A lot of wonky people have this, but it is what it is. GT, they're probably not going to be on a team with any other GT characters. I mean, if we look at joined forces, let's go over to joined forces, right? Who on here has GT? I don't think anybody does, right? So that is a little unfortunate. And then obviously Dragon Ball Seekers, only a few do. So they're a little limited right now. I think they will get better once we get more cards. Anyway, let's keep it rolling. We're moving on up. Nope, I'm sorry, I'm lying to you. We are holding onto this tier here. We're gonna move one who I feel iffy about this, but I will include him into the King Kai tier. I may change my mind, but Goku Black and Zamasu are, in my opinion, a fantastic LR, and I feel bad even putting them there, but I will. Tech, Key +3, HP attack and defense 90%. Recovers 15% HP at the start of turn. Every time they get hit, they will gain 30% attack up to 120% attack. Now, they do give themselves 30% defense for 3 turns when they 12 key super attack, and they give themselves 30% defense for 6 turns when they 18 key super attack. I will keep them on this tier, and the reason for that is even though I think they're a phenomenal unit because they gain an insane amount of attack, 120%, and they can stack their defense pretty easily if they're able to 18 key super attack, not to mention they're giving themselves health back. They will take a lot of damage early on if they're not able to super attack, and they do have to ramp up to get their damage. So because of that, and I don't want to slander them anymore, we're going to move on, though I do love that card. Next up, we're going to the Supreme Kai tier, and we're going to throw the boy Baby on here. Baby's really good, actually. Baby is really good, Baby Vegeta. Surprisingly so. He actually shocked me how good he is, and I do actually have a video coming out tomorrow. So if you're watching this in the future, you can go back and check it out. But Artificial Life Forms, Key +4, HP attack and defense 130%. Extreme AGL, Key 4, HP attack and defense 100%. HP attack defense, yeah. 12 key, lowers attack. 18 key, lowers attack and defense. I love that. I love lowering attack. It's very, very good. Way more useful than lowering defense, to be honest. Passive skill, 100% attack and defense. Gives himself 3 key. Plus, if he's facing a Pure Saiyans enemy, an extra 3 key and 50% attack. Plus, if you're facing a Hybrid Saiyans enemy, an extra 3 key and 50% attack. Plus, when you go below 40% HP, you got a 50% chance of turning into Giant Ape, which obviously makes you invulnerable for like 1 or 2 turns or whatever it is. Let's actually see if it's... it doesn't tell you how many turns it is. Thirst for Conquest, Metamorphosis, which is actually starting to show up on more and more units. Big Bad Bosses, GT, which, okay, Hatred of Saiyans, Bad Link, Shadow the Limit, and Legendary Power on a ton of categories, right? But this is why this baby is a much better version than the Trunks and Mine, because you have 2 different categories that you can hit. You're not just restricted to Future Saga. It's Pure Saiyans or Hybrid Saiyans. And if you're facing both, then you're going to get a 100% increase in a 6 key, which you can get. And by the way, if you do, my goodness, which I do hit in the video that I made, you do a lot of damage. So let's take a quick look at these categories. Hybrid Saiyans, I mean, just a lot of characters on here. As you can see, Gotenks, Goten, Trunks, Future Trunks, Pans, Gohans, Future Gohans, You have Great Saiyamans. You have Teen Gohan, Kid Gohan. You have freaking Goku on here. Like, come on. And then if we look at Pure Saiyans, I mean, isn't this like one of the biggest categories in the game? So you getting that increase in damage is going to be a given, essentially. The only time you're not going to get it is if you're facing like Goku Blacks, Zamasus, Cells, Freezes, Coolers. Typically any villains, because 90% of the heroes in this game are Saiyans. So there you go. Very, very good. Do love the baby. On the same tier, I'm actually going to throw the androids on here. And this is not a diss on the androids. This is actually what's the term I should use? It is recognition of Baby Vegeta and how good Baby Vegeta is. So he's the android category, Ki plus 4, HP, attack, and defense, 150%. Not necessarily needed. We didn't really need any more android category leaders, but we got another one, right? Extreme physical, Ki plus 4, HP, attack, and defense, 100%. 12 Ki, lowers attack and defense. I like that. 18 Ki, lowers attack and defense. I like that as well. Passive gives himself attack or give themselves attack and defense 78%. 1 Ki has a 30% chance to dodge. Where is it? 25% chance to dodge. It's always weird because medium chance could always be either 25 or 30. Very strange. So 25% chance to dodge, including super. When your HP is 66% or below. So you do have to be below a certain threshold to get that 25% chance to dodge. But you are a support unit. Attack 40%, Ki 2 for android allies. That's pretty good, right? And when your HP is 66% or below, and you have at least 2 android category allies on the team, which, let's be honest, you're probably always going to use this dude alongside allies, then you can activate. Or it can be activated at any time when you're facing a character whose name is Cell, not including Cell Jr. So what ends up happening is you exchange yourself with Android 16, who gives himself 6 Ki, 200% attack and defense, 50% chance to perform a crit, launches an additional super attack when there's an Android Cell Saga category enemy. So they're very, very good. Very, very good. I guess the thing that does hold them back a little bit is you have to be alongside of androids. But theoretically, with their links, Infinite Energy, Android Soul, Soul versus Soul, you're really not going to have non-androids alongside of them. So it both holds them back, and it's also like, well, you know, it's expected. It's expected. The next two, gonna shock people. Gonna shock people. I'm in the shocking mood. Vegito and Gogeta. So I'm going to explain why I'm putting them on this tier. It's actually kind of a demotion for them, but it's really not, because there are so many great characters that have come out that you have to keep creating tiers that go up as opposed to create tiers that go down. And so that's the only reason why they've gone, they've lowered in their placement, is because I needed room to put newer, better cards higher, if that makes sense. So these guys are still amazing, right? Still amazing. Patara lead, incredible. Ki plus 3, HP attack and defense 170%, defense buck 30, intelligence 3 Ki, HP attack and defense 90%, 12 Ki, colossal damage, 18 Ki, raises attack by 30%, causes mega colossal, passive skill, attack and defense 120, amazing, 2 Ki in addition per rainbow Ki sphere obtained, perform Patara fusion when conditions are met. When they go into the Patara form, fully recovers HP, counters with tremendous power upon receiving normal attacks, attack and defense 150% at the start of turn, 3 Ki in addition per rainbow Ki sphere obtained. So these guys are phenomenal. They still can do a ton of damage. Getting that 50% after, what was it, 6 turns? After 6 turns, sometimes could be a little bit rough. And sometimes it could get you killed if you're trying to get it. But they're amazing. And the same thing with the Gogeta. It's literally the same stats and everything. Except here, it's attacks effective against all types, but the same stats and all that stuff, just for the fusion category lead. So these dudes are just fantastic. The reason why they've gone, I don't want to say they've gone down, because they haven't. They've really just been replaced. Is because I do believe that the characters on the tiers higher than them are better and I'm trying to think of this in the best way possible. I just think they're probably, because these guys, maybe they should even be in there. I don't know if I want to put them in their own little mini tier here, but just kind of think of them as maybe Supreme Kai tier 0.5, right? They're halfway in between God of Destruction tier and Supreme Kai tier. I think they're right in the middle here. But yeah, they're fantastic, both of them. Both of them are fantastic. I just think there's some much stronger units. And one of them is Intelligence Cell. Intelligence Cell gets slept on quite a bit, but this dude is an absolute beast, and he has to be recognized. He has to be praised. He has to be adored. Android Cell Saga category, Ki +4, HP and attack 150%, defense a $170. Android Cell Saga, a very good category here with the Gohan, with the Trunks, with the cells and the androids and stuff like that, with a bunch of Trunks and things of that nature. So pretty good category. I do believe it'll get even better in the future, but pretty solid indeed. Extreme Intelligence, 3 key, HP attack and defense 120%, which is pretty solid, right? Causes colossal damage, greatly lowers defense. All right, I already talked about, I'm not a huge fan of that, but raises attack by 50% for 1 turn and does mega colossal. So that means he can do some decent damage, right? Passive skill, attack and defense 80%, raises defense by up to 80%. The more HP remaining, the greater the defensive boost. So works very similar to Bojack, except it's the other way around. Plus an additional 1 key and 20% attack per existing enemy. So again, when there's more people, he gets even stronger. And yeah, what can you say? This dude is very, very good. Now, much like the fusions, if you drop below a certain threshold, HP threshold, then he will transform. Unlike the fusions, you don't have to wait around 6 turns. So if you get absolutely slapped up and somehow you're below 30% HP, then he transforms into Perfect Cell. Fully recovers HP, which is amazing. Gives himself 4 key, a $120 attack and defense. Gives himself 20% attack and defense when attacking with 4 more orbs, plus an additional attack and defense with 6 or more orbs, and an additional 20% attack with 8 or more orbs. So that essentially transforms into a attack boost of 252% attack and 208% defense. He is an absolute beast in this mode. He also has an active skill. You have to wait 3 turns after he transforms, and you have to be facing only 1 enemy, but it's fine. Raises his attack by 50%, ultimate damage, massively lowers defense by 100%. Absolutely insane. This dude is a monster, an absolute monster, and that is why he's in the God of Destruction tier. Who else is in the God of Destruction tier? We got the boy God Goku, who is one of the best LRs in the game for those first few turns. Like I think people like look at the 7 turns and be like, 7 turns and then he's garbage. Nah, bruh. Nah. 77% attack, 1 key up to 5, and defense plus 11% up to 55% per Pure Saiyans or Hybrid Saiyans allies. Now let's look at the teams that he's on. Realm of Gods, Pure Saiyans, Goku's Family, and Kamehameha. On these 3 teams, Pure Saiyans, Goku's Family, and Kamehameha, I mean, Pure Saiyans is right there, right? You're only going to have Pure Saiyans, so he's going to hit the cap. Goku's Family is made up of Pure Saiyans and Hybrid Saiyans. Kamehameha is made up of Pure Saiyans and Hybrid Saiyans. Realm of Gods, this is the team that does have some non-Pure Saiyans, some non-Hybrid Saiyans. So this is where he may not be able to get his max stats there. But on the other 3 categories, he's solid, right? Also, he's got a 50% chance of dodge and 50% chance to crit. High chance of, 50% chance to dodge, 50% chance to crit for the first 7 turns from the start of turn. So, man, what an advantage that gives you on so many events. What an advantage that gives you on so many events. Incredible. And even after that, you know, listen, 55% defense is not an insane amount, but he does have almost 15,000 defense. And so that's going to work quite a bit. It is going to work quite a bit. I do wish that he had like Cold Judgment or something for some more defense there, but it is what it is. You do have to realize that his super attack does greatly raise his defense and his attack by 50%. And if he's getting his 18 key off, he's stacking that for 3 turns, not to mention greatly lowering the enemy's defense. So he's just like really good overall unit. And I think he gets slept on quite a bit, but he's fantastic. Moving on this tier, we're going to put the Tech Broly. Tech Broly is an absolute beast and a monstrosity of an offensive unit. And we're actually going to take a look at him right here. So he's Resurrected Warriors, 4 key, HP attack and defense 130%. Extreme Tech, key 4, HP attack and defense 100%. 12 key, lowers enemies defense. 18 key, greatly lowers enemies defense. He gives himself 90% attack and defense when he supers, plus an additional 50% attack if it's an ultra super attack. And he launches a super attack when facing 2 or more enemies. He transforms on the 4th turn of battle, which is fantastic. When he transforms, he goes legendary. Massively lowers enemies' defense on the 18 key, greatly lowers on the 12 key. 100% attack and defense when he's doing a super attack, plus an additional 88% if it's an ultra super attack. He guaranteed launches an additional attack that has a 25% chance or a 25% chance of becoming a super attack when it's only one enemy. And he guarantee launches an additional super attack when he's facing 2 or more enemies. So, phenomenal. Active skill. Gives himself 24 key. That's the full key bar, full key meter. Gives himself 48% attack for 1 turn. Fantastic. It's a great nuking ability. He can hit insane numbers. The problem that I have with him, and it's the reason why he's not higher, is he's only giving himself stats when he's getting a super attack. And so, unfortunately, if he doesn't get a super attack off, then he has no defense, and he has very little attack, right? His defense is 13,200, so it's not on the high end. So that is the one thing that holds this Broly back. Besides that, he's a phenomenal unit, and I do like him quite a bit. Moving on up, the Go Frieza. Some people might be upset that I'm putting Go Frieza on the God of Destruction tier and not higher. And there's a specific reason that I'm doing that, and it's the same reason why the Broly is on that particular tier and not higher. And it's defense. It's the same exact thing. It's defense. Did I just pick? Yeah, here we go. Defense is extremely important because sometimes you don't have the liberty to super attack before you get hit. And this character does some of the most damage in the game, right? We all know that. Attack and defense 77% when attacking, right? So if you get hit before you're able to attack, then you're going to take a lot of damage. But let's talk about the pros. Attack and defense 77% when attacking. Doesn't have to be a super, just has to be an attack. Plus an additional 77% when doing an ultra super attack. Plus, if the enemy is in attack down status, an additional 77%. Representative Universe 7, keep 3, HP attack and defense 177%, which is amazing. Unfortunately, the team is pretty small and not particularly good. Like, you can cram. You have to have, to make a good Universe 7 team, you have to have the Go Frieza. You got to have the LRUI Goku. You got to have the Strength Kaioken Goku. You got to have the AGL. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have these characters. And if you're missing 1 or 2, then it's really not even worth running a team because I don't think it's as good as it could be. MVP 17 does make it decent, and these tech androids are actually pretty good if you don't have like the AGL Vegeta, or if you don't have the Strength Kaioken Goku, or if you don't have like this, MVP 17. Frieza is the only extreme unit, but unfortunately, this Frieza lowers superclass allies attack by 15%. Debuffs the entire team. Oh, it's so annoying. But anyway, this character is amazing. Super insane attack. Very small leader skill, unfortunately. Also tech 3 key, HP attack and defense 90%. And again, can't get hit first or else you get absolutely walloped. I mean, I think in the best possible scenario, rainbowed LR Super Saiyan with, attacking with defensive supports, you're going to get up to like 180,000, 190,000 defense, which is pretty good. It's pretty solid, right? Pretty good. But again, that's after attacking with supports on rotation. That's the God tier rotation. You're not going to have that every time. Sometimes you're going to get hit before you can attack. And yeah, it's just kind of a liability. Not saying that they're bad. Again, these dudes are amazing. Let me just make that clear. I want to make that very, very clear. They are amazing. Another unit that's very amazing. But again, it's kind of a theme that I'm putting here, right? A theme. Why is this dude still here? What the... Free to play. Get over there, brother. There's a theme that I'm doing here. Vegeta. Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta is fantastic. I love this card. Absolutely love this card. Love Super Saiyan 4s. It's my favorite form, actually. Over Super Saiyan 3. Over, UI, Ultra Instinct, all that stuff, right? Vegeta's family, 3 key, HP, 130%, attack and defense, $170. Super strength, key 3, 120% lead, great. Massively raises attack for 1 turn. That is 100%, I believe, right? Massively is 100. I guess you're not gonna show me. But yeah, raises SA multiplied by 100%. 100% is massive. 12 key, 100% attack and defense increase. Mega colossal damage. Starts off with 80% defense, gains a 20% attack up to 80 per turn, plus an additional 2 key per rainbow or strength. So essentially, if you get a rainbow orb, you're going to get 3 orbs or 3 key on the meter. And if you get a strength, you're going to get 4, which is insane. 25% chance, 30% chance of dodging super attacks and countering with tremendous power. On the 4th turn of battle, you can do the active skill, raises attack by 100%. Ultimate damage to an enemy, which is an insane modifier. What is the ultimate? 550%. Woo! That's insane. The reason why he is on the God of Destruction tier and not the Guide Angel tier is one reason alone. He does not give himself attack on or defense on the 12 key. That's it. That's the only reason. Doesn't give himself defense on the 12 key. And so sometimes this leads to situations where the 80% defense is just not enough. Why is it not enough? His defense is somewhat low, 12,981. So that's a little unfortunate, right? The 30% chance to dodge the super attacks and counter is fantastic. But if this was defense, boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Now you can counter and say, hey, he's able to get his 18 key attack very easily because of the increase on rainbow and strength orbs. And I agree. But sometimes you're in a position where you can't get the 18 key super attack. You're only left with getting the 12 key super attack. And on very difficult events, that 80% defense is just not enough, unfortunately. Now let's move on to the next tier, because now we're getting onto a unit who his defense is phenomenal, even just super attacking, and that is the Goku. The Goku has what I like. The Goku has the defense on the 12 key and the defense and offense on the 18 key, which is what I thought it should have been for both of them, to be honest. But I understand they have to change it up a little bit, right? So 100% defense increase on the 12 key, 100% attack and defense on the 18 key. Starts off with that 80% attack, 20% defense per turn up to 80. Same thing, but with Rainbow and AGL for the extra 2. Same dodge chance, same counter, same passive, all that fun stuff. The difference is I do believe that his leader skill is one of the best in the game. Goku's family, key 3, HP and attack 100%, 170%, which I prefer over the defense 170%. This defense is $130. But Goku's family is just a monstrous monstrous category, like just unbelievably good. So there's the Goku's family team, absolutely insane. Gives himself the defense, I love that. Gives himself the attack, very, very good. Goku, I appreciate you, my boy. Who else is on the Guide Angel team? Well, the Gumku boy, the Bombku, whatever you want to call him, Spirit Bomb absorbed Goku. This guy is insane, and the reason why he's insane is because he can do absurd amounts of damage very easily. He's a Super Saiyan category, Ki plus 4, HP attack and defense 130%. Greatly raises defense 50% by 1 turn, causes colossal damage to the enemy. 12 or 18 Ki, lowers attack and defense and seals super attack. We haven't seen any characters recently that sealed super attacks. Here's the Goku doing just that. Attack and defense 59%, randomly changes Ki spheres of a certain type to rainbow, plus an additional 2 Ki per rainbow, so that's going to be 3 Ki for every rainbow. Attack and defense 7% per Ki sphere obtained, plus an additional 7% per Super Saiyan category ally attacking in the same turn. So obviously at most you can have 2 Super Saiyans on the same team. Now let's take a look at the categories. Pure Saiyans, Movie Heroes, Goku's Family, Super Saiyans, Last Resort. You will have a lot of Super Saiyans on those teams. You're going to have a lot of Super Saiyans on those teams. So he's going to be able to get that increase very, very easily. Very easily. And that's going to be, 21% attack? Yeah, 21% attack per orb. 7% defense per orb. Already raising his defense by 50% on the 12 keys. And if you go a lot of additional into this dude, he can do his 18 key seal and then do his 12 key afterwards. Or you can just go high crit and see absolutely insane numbers. But the fact that he's getting his 18 key and he's sealing is also very good because he's going to prevent a lot of damage from being done. So this guy is just great everywhere. Very easy to get his passive working well because there's so many Super Saiyans in the game. Next up in our Guide Angel tier, our Vados and Whis tier, right, is Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, man, like one of the best defensive units in the game, in my opinion. He starts off with attack and defense 100%, so he starts off pretty good. He's going to stack his defense by 30% on his 12 and 18 key. He's going to gain 1 key plus an additional attack and defense 10% for each turn, up to 5 key. So after 5 turns, obviously, he'll be stacked for key, and 7 turns for his attack and defense. That's going to be 170% attack and defense, 5 key. After 7 turns. So on any long events, this guy's king, right? He's one of the kings. King is good. King is good. His active skill sucks. Let's just be honest. His transformation sucks. Like, we can't beat around the bush here, guys. It's pretty bad. It can only be activated when your HP is 58% or less with an Android 16 on the team, or you have to wait 5 turns, be under 58% HP, and have an Android ally or enemy. It's just annoying, really annoying. But if you are able to get it to go, then he becomes one of the hardest hitting. I think he might be the hardest hitting character in the game. Gives himself 20% attack and 7% defense per orb obtained, plus an additional 1 key per orb. So if he gets like a strength orb or an intelligence orb, he's getting 2 key instead of 1. Randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to rainbow if he's facing only one enemy. He launches an additional super attack when facing multiple enemies. And if he's got a Super Saiyan Goku attacking in the same turn, he's going to get an additional 59% when he's doing his Ultra Super Attack, which gets pretty insane. So his additional 59% attack is calculated separately, resulting in an increase of 31.8% per key sphere obtained instead of just 20. This dude is just like, a monstrosity. You're rarely ever going to see him, but he is an absolute beast. He is the leader of one of the best categories in the game, Kamehameha. He's also the sub-leader of one of the best categories in the game, Super AGL. So, he just does everything. He does everything, but his transformation mechanic sucks. Next, Go Bros. Go Bros, I mean, are pretty simple. I've talked about them in length before, but these dudes just do everything right, and their one weakness is fixed by their passive, right? I'll explain that in a second. Siblings Brawn, pretty solid category. Goku's Family, as I said, one of the best categories. 50% increase in their attack on their 12 key, 50% increase in their attack on their 18 key, 58% attack and defense, guaranteed additional attack that has a 25 or 30%, let's see, 25% chance of becoming a super attack, which I feel like it happens more than 25%. But anyway, every time they attack, 1 key attack and defense 10%, up to 5 key attack and defense 100%. Now let's do some math here. They're going to attack guaranteed 2 times. If you have additional, built into them, then they're going to attack, a good chance they're going to attack 3 times, right? So let's go say you put no additional in them, just crit and dodge for whatever reason. They're going to attack minimum 2 times a turn. So that means that it's going to take 5 turns for them to be fully stacked out. And keep in mind, you're not just adding 100 onto the 58. It's calculated separately. So they're actually going to be at a attack and defense of 216% after 10 attacks. They're attacking twice per turn. That's 5 turns. Maximum. It's going to, at max, take 5 turns. If you have additionals, then they'll attack maybe at least 1 turn in those 5. That'll drop it down to 4. If they attack an extra time in another turn, it'll drop it down to 3, if that makes sense. Not to mention, if you drop below 59% HP and you're facing 1 enemy, and it's been 3 turns, then you can massively raise your attack 100% and cause ultimate damage. So that's the active skill, right? Keep in mind, it's going to take a number of turns to drop below 59% health. So not terrible restriction. Luckily, you don't need a specific character or anything like that to activate it, like the AGL Gohan. But regardless, this dude is, these two are phenomenal. Like, just very, very good. They give themselves so much attack. They attack so many times. They have pretty darn good defense, 14,000. And then coupled by that 216% defense boost, which, like I said, they will have by turn 3, 4, or 5. Whew. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Next up is the Kale and Caulifla, the defensive queens. I'd say the defensive queens of this game. Like, they are so freaking good defensively. It's insane. And they can be insanely good offensively if you build for them specifically. So they stack defense just like the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, 30% at a time. They give themselves attack and defense 66%. They guarantee launch an additional attack. Keep in mind, they give themselves 1 key up to 6, and they stack dodge by 6% every time they attack, up to 66%. So 2/3 of the time they will not be hit. And they're stacking defense. And they're getting additional attacks. And we're not done yet. For every Universe 6 Joined Forces or Pure Saiyan category ally in the team, they're giving themselves 10% attack. And oh, by the way, that stacks. So if you have a Universe 6 Joined Forces Pure Saiyan, for example, their TUR, then you're getting 30% attack from that 1 card. If you're facing a Universal Survival Saga or Pure Saiyans category enemy, we've talked about that before, how big the Pure Saiyans character lineup is, then you are guaranteeing an additional super attack, thus stacking your defense faster, thus stacking your dodge faster, thus stacking your ki faster. So just like the Go Bros, they have that mechanic where the longer the fight gets, the better. But then they have elements in their passive that make it so they stack that up even quicker. It's insane. It's actually insane. They're also the leader of one of the best LR categories in the game, Joined Forces. Like, look at all these LRs. It's absolutely insane. I believe there's more LRs than TURs on this. So that's incredible, right? They're just very, very good, right? Very, very good. And last but not least, the Mac Daddy, Zeno tier, the brand new boy, LR UI Goku. The man that I went 1,200 stones for and was not able to claim. He was able to dodge me, unfortunately. But this dude is insane, right? 4 key, HP attack and defense 130%. Realm of Gods, super strength, key +4, HP attack and defense 100%. Disables enemy guard on his 12 key, disables enemy's guard on his 18 key. The reason why that's important is you want this guy attacking first, because if he disables the enemy's guard, if you're facing off against a strength unit and you have a physical person next to you, then now the physical unit will be able to hit at full damage. He won't have guard activated on him, so he will hit just like he normally would. So that's pretty solid, right? You really don't want to have this guy in the third slot because it's going to kind of waste that there. His passive, 77% attack and defense. He has a 50% chance of dodging enemy's attack for 7 turns. Or, I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry. That's just his normal passive all the time. For the first 7 turns, he's got a 70% chance to dodge enemy's attack, including super attacks. And on the 8th turn and beyond, he's got a 50% chance of dodging the super attack. Not to mention, every time he dodges, he gains 1 key up to 7 and 11% attack and defense up to 77. Not to mention, it's calculated separately like LR Gobros, so that means that he's going to end up being at a total boost of attack and defense 213%. And he just has to dodge 7 times. Are you kidding me? That's insane. His links are pretty darn good too. Kamehameha, Prepare for Battle, Godly Power, Over in a Flash, Tournament of Power, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. I mean, let's take a look at that real fast. 2 key, 3 key, 3 key. I'm Drake here, you know. Key. That's 8 key just from his links. Not to mention, if he's on a any category, that's 6 key just from the category leads. Guess what number that is? That's 12 key. He's already done his freaking 12 key super attack just by existing and having his links match up with other characters. So at that point, it'll be pretty simple to get 6 more key to be able to get his 18 key super attack. Phenomenal. Oh, wait, what's that? Did you forget? Did you forget that he also is giving himself 7 key? So he was at 12. He needed 6 orbs. Well, now he doesn't anymore because he gave himself 7. So now he's at 19. Come on. What is going on here? Yeah, LRUI Goku, number 1. Number 1. If you disagree or agree with my list, leave it in the comments down below. I'm very interested to argue with all of you because, let's be honest, that's what it turns into. But my one rule is do not be disrespectful. Do not be a jerk about it. Just like I presented all of my opinions in a thought out manner, I will debate you on the merits of certain characters, but if you try to be like offensive and stuff like that, it's like, nah, I don't got time for that, bro. Moving on to the next channel. Either way, if you haven't subscribed to this channel by now, consider what you're doing with your life. Go ahead and gently rub that subscribe button, gingerly ring that bell button, essentially kiss the like button. As always, this is Periodic saying, don't be a dick.